Let's be real. Finding love today can feel like trying to walk through a minefield. So, for this explainer, we're going to distill the core ideas of the world-renowned dating coach Matthew Hussey. Our goal to build a clear framework for finding and maybe even more importantly, keeping a partner in this crazy modern world. Okay, let's just dive right in. Hussey kicks everything off with this one powerful idea. It's not just about not being lonely, right? It's about building something that actually makes every other part of your life better. It's a huge ASP operational goal, a genuine superpower. But if the reward is that great, why does the whole process feel so broken? This is the central problem Hussey points to. It really does feel harder now than ever before. And you know what? He says there are some very, very specific reasons why. So first up, let's get into Hussey's diagnosis of the modern dating scene. He basically says that the chaos you're feeling, it's not just in your head. It's the result of some very real major shifts in our society. Hussey points to a few fundamental mismatches that are happening all at once. So on one hand, you have women's standards rising, which makes sense with their education and income going up. But then you throw in social media, which has created these impossible digitally perfected ideals for literally everything, from how successful you should be to what you're supposed to look like. And on top of all that, you now have these deep ideological divides that can cause a fight before you've even finished your first coffee. And this right here just perfectly captures how absurd our new reality is. I mean, think about it. When even a Greek island is so filtered and photoshopped on Instagram that the real thing is kind of a letdown, what hope do any of us have as real human imperfect people? This pressure to live up to a fake ideal, it hits everyone and just creates this constant feeling that we're falling short. Okay, so if the external world is a total mess, where on earth do we find a solution? Well, Hussey's answer is a really profound internal shift. It's all about focusing on mindset over ideology. And he actually borrows this core principle from the late Christopher Hitchens. This single idea, this is the key. It's how you cut through all the noise of surface-level disagreements and find something much, much deeper and more lasting. Clearly, what you think, that's your current set of beliefs, your politics, your opinions on pineapple, on pizza. But how you think, that's the machinery underneath. Is this person curious? Are they humble enough to admit and they're wrong? Do they care more about what's true than about winning an argument? That is where the magic is. So the crucial point here is that a person with this kind of mindset creates a relationship that can actually grow and evolve. When you both are willing to change, you stop keeping score of who won the last fight. Instead, you're creating a space where it's actually safe to be wrong, to learn from each other and to change your mind, which really is the bedrock of a true partnership. Okay, but how does this mindset actually hold up under the very real pressure of a long-term commitment? This is where Hussey brings in a word you don't hear a lot with romance, discipline. He totally reframes a great marriage. It's not this constant state of bliss or happiness. He sees it as a discipline. It's an active practice, just like building a career or staying healthy. It means showing up, especially on the days you really don't feel like it, because you believe in the long-term value of what you're building together. And this analogy just makes it so clear, right? Your relationship is like the gym. There are going to be days you not have the energy to show up, but you do it anyway. Why? Because you believe in the why of the relationship. It's worth it. And to maintain that discipline, you don't actually need 100 reasons. You just need one. One big, powerful reason that makes all the daily effort feel completely worth it. But let's be real for a second. It's a Tuesday night. You're stressed. You're tired. That big reason can feel a million miles away. So how do you reconnect with it in the moment? Well, Hussey offers a fascinating and really practical tool for this. He calls them emotional buttons. Think of these as your own personal treasure chest of moments and memories and feelings that act as an instant trigger. They're like a shortcut, a direct line back to your why, completely bypassing all the logical, tired arguments your brain might be trying to make. And here's how you actually build them. It's all about being mindful. The next time you feel a really powerful, positive emotion, a moment of deep love or connection, don't just let it float by. Pause and then figure out the specific ingredients. What caused it? Was it a look, a sound, a silly phrase they said? Then you record it, write it down, save a picture, find the song that becomes your button, and it's ready to be pushed whenever you need to feel that feeling. Again, this personal example from Hussey just makes the whole concept so real. It's not some grand abstract idea of love. It's the specific visceral sound of his wife's laugh. By just identifying and holding on to that simple moment, he created a button that can instantly reconnect him with his deepest feelings for her. It's so simple, but so powerful. Okay, so we've covered the right mindset and we've got some practical tools. Now, it's time for the final piece of the puzzle. The self-sabotaging stories that keep so many of us from finding love in the first place. Hussey makes a really important distinction here. So acute heartbreak, that's the normal, painful grief of a loss. We all go through it and eventually we move on. But chronic heartbreak, that's a whole different animal. That's the pain that just never leaves. And it's because we've attached a story to it. A story that creates a wound that literally can't heal. And this right here, this is the reframe that can shatter that story of chronic heartbreak. If you're telling yourself they were the love of my life, you're writing a recipe for permanent suffering. But the logic here is so simple and so powerful. How can the right person for you be someone who doesn't choose you? By definition, they can't be. And just like that the story starts to dissolve. That story we tell ourselves, whether it's they were the one or all men are trash or no one wants a successful woman, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And Hussey gives this whole phenomenon a powerful name, the wall. And this metaphor is just perfect. If you're a race car driver and you stare at the wall, you're going to crash into the wall. It's the same in our lives. If your focus is constantly on a negative belief, your wall, you will unconsciously steer yourself into situations to prove it right. And after a while, you don't even see it as your wall anymore. You just mistake it for the entire world. Now, this isn't meant to be harsh. Hussey is so empathetic about how hard this whole process really is. But this is also a statement of fact that's meant to be empowering. It's a reminder that your wall, your story, your specific set of excuses, they are not an insurmountable barrier. Other people right now are breaking through theirs every single day. And so, the crucial point, the final takeaway here is to turn that question inward. We all have a wall we stare at, some limiting belief that's shaping our reality in love. And the very first step to finally driving past it is just being